Houdini, the world's greatest escape artist and internationally known magician, was born in Appleton, Wisconsin on April 6, 1875. The son of Rabbi Mayer Samuel Weiss, the young Houdini, or as he was known as a young lad, Eric Weiss, began conjuring as a hobby at age 6. Houdini chose to change his name from Eric Weiss because of his magical idol, Robert Houdin. Adding the I made Houdini feel that he was like Houdin. One of Houdini's first tricks was making a dried pea appear under one of 3 cups. The trick was known as the pea shell game. Between the ages of 7 and 17, Houdini had many part-time and full-time jobs: locksmithing, shoe shining, tie cutting, and newspaper delivering. In his free time, he always practiced magic. The most clever part of Houdini's early performance was his circus-style legerdemain, performing a trick or illusion, then moving on to juggling or another feat of dexterity. His handcuff work initially failed because audiences thought he used fakes. Later, he learned the value of showmanship, being spectacular, not just skilled. In 1891, Harry and his brother Theo became the Brothers Houdini. Their act centered on Metamorphosis, a version of John Maskelyne's 1864 trick, where the two switched places inside a locked trunk in seconds. Despite their skill, money was scarce. When their father died in 1892, Harry became the family's provider. They found modest success performing in Chicago, where Houdini learned lockpicking, soon the backbone of his act. He'd challenge police to handcuff him and then escape. In 1894, he met and married Bess, who joined him on stage as the Houdinis. Theo left the act. 4 years later, Houdini's escape acts finally gained press attention, and by 1899, he and Bess were bound for Europe. The crowds had never seen anything like him. When he returned to America, he was a superstar commanding record fees. In 1926, while in Montreal, a student tested Houdini's famed iron stomach with unexpected punches. They ruptured his appendix. Houdini died days later, on Halloween, in Detroit. He was 50. He and Bess never had children, but his legend never faded. Houdini mastered publicity, staging death-defying escapes from bridges and skyscrapers that dominated newspaper headlines. His name became a verb. To Houdinize meant to escape confinement. Though time moved on, his spirit never slipped the lock. The great Houdini is forever. This illusion has been a career maker for more performers than any other trick. Perhaps Harry Houdini was the first to become famous for performing this one. A large crate is in center stage. A group from the audience inspect it closely, looking for trapdoors or any other means of escape. Then the committee handcuffs the assistant. Once handcuffed, the assistant is placed into a sack whose mouth is tied. The committee places the assistant into the crate and closes the lid. Along the lid of the crate, there are several clasps. Padlocks are inserted into the clasps to lock the lid firmly in place. Then the box is wrapped all around with rope and chains. The chains are also locked in place. All the while, the performer is watching the work take place. Once the work is finished, the group steps back from the crate. The performer picks up a curtained hoop and, with the curtain in hand, climbs on top of the crate. He or she holds the hoop in his or her arms, allowing the curtain to fall as far as the top of the crate, concealing the area from the performer's waist down to the top half of the crate. The illusion is ready to begin. The performer counts 1, then 2. Each time the performer counts, the curtain is brought up over his head, while the top of the crate is still hidden by the curtain. On the count of 3, the performer drops the curtain, where once the performer stood on top of the crate, the assistant now stands, a change of place which occurs in only 3 seconds. The crate is then untied, unchained, unlocked, and then opened. The sack is untied, and inside is the performer, who is handcuffed but now has a different set of clothes on. A true metamorphosis, right before the eyes of both the audience and the stage committee. The secret. First of all, the crate is rigged. One side of the top panel is able to swing into the crate. In some cases, a trunk is used. In others, it is a packing crate. Either can be used. The rigging usually can't be detected due to creative carpentry. A good carpenter will be able to hide the secret, as revealed in the illustrations. Also, most people look for ways to open the crate out, not in. Remember, all the chains and rope on the outside of the box will not keep the lid from falling inward, as it is designed to, or keep the assistant from then climbing out through the chains and rope onto the crate. Let's begin with the handcuffs. They can either be dummy cuffs, which are easily opened by the assistant, or the key can be in the assistant's pocket. No one thinks of this illusion as an escape trick. The sack can be of a gimmicked nature, such as a sack without a bottom, or as the assistant is being tied up, she can poke her hand into the neck of the sack. This way, the rope is tied around both the assistant's hand and the neck of the bag. Remove the hand and the bag tie becomes loose. This illusion only seems as though it requires a scant 3 seconds. In reality, by the time the crate is locked, then tied and roped, several minutes have elapsed. The assistant is out of the handcuffs and the bag long before the crate is even secure. As soon as the performer gets on top of the crate, the assistant drops open the lid section and crawls out onto the crate. The assistant stays hidden behind the curtain along with the performer. As the performer counts 1 and 2, the assistant takes hold of the curtain and the performer drops down into the crate. When the count 3 is heard, the performer closes the lid door and the assistant is revealed to the audience. While the curtain is still in place and the audience is taking in the surprise, the performer makes certain that the lid is back in place. The assistant jumps off the crate and the committee begins undoing it. During this time, the performer is changing clothes, putting on the handcuffs, and getting back into the sack. This illusion is a trick which requires a great deal of practice by both the performer and the assistant. When the two of them. This illusion is a trick which requires a great deal of practice. Them share the top space of the lid. There is not much room. When timing the appearance onto the lid by the assistant and the dropping of the curtain by the assistant, all movements must be smooth and clean. Breakaway clothes and outfits really make this illusion sparkle. This effect is especially true when the new costume is clearly different from the first one. This way your audience won't miss the outfit change, especially because the shed clothes remain inside the trunk. This one can be performed inside a theater or out on the street. It is angle-proof and spectacular to see when performed properly. Once again, the crate or trunk should not be too flashy. The less obvious the prop, the more realistic the illusion.